yesteryear, and we're on the 28th of Elul, which symbolizes the Hilula of a really great Turkish rabbi, Rabbi Yitzchak Arkish Z'tl. He was actually born in English year 1818 and passed away, to be precise, on the 28th of September in the year 1886. Naturally, that was Chaf Chet Elul, 28th of Elul. He was an outstanding and a very famous rabbi in Turkey. He would become a Rosh Yeshiva. He would become a judge, a Diyan, and a posek, a great rabbi that was rendering various different halachic renditions, let's just say, over there, especially in the city of Koushta in Turkey. And I believe at the end of his life, he would make Aliyah and move to Hebron. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. So he was born and came from great heritage. His father's name was Rav Avram. I think he was actually born in Koushta. I think in the Hebrew year, Hey Taf Kuf Ayin Chet. Naturally, that's 1818. As he grew up, he learned a lot of Torah and continuously learning in various different yeshivas. I think his rabbi was Rabbi Abraham Puah, another great rabbi of the city who we've mentioned about on several occasions before, who happens to be also a great posek in of itself. And he would learn a lot of in-depth Torah at such a young age. It's actually interesting. I believe in the year 1852, he was learning in the Mitivta, I think, and had a close connection with Rabbi Shlomo Eliezer El-Fandari, another great rabbi we've spoken about on various different occasions. In of itself, was also popularly known as the Hasaba Kadisha. We actually spoke about him. His Hilula was on Chaf Bet Iyai, was one of the famous Kabbalists of, let's say, Turkey, the whole Turkey region in of itself, and possibly across the globe in his point in time. There was a Mitivta, a yeshiva, I think, from which was also connected to Rabbi Abraham Puah. So he actually, I think, considered Rav Puah his rabbi, let's just say, quote unquote, and really showed him at the highest esteem. I think also financially, he also received some support also from the great rabbi, and very, very interesting. So I believe in the year 1858, it's actually interesting, I think a very wealthy person actually tried to establish a new school system, a Jewish school system, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the vicinity in of itself, a Beit Sefer Yehudi, as they call it, a school for the Jewish people, where they would learn grammar, they would learn language. However, they might start learning more secular studies than, let's say, Turkish Jewry at that point in time was very used to. So Rabbi Akrish was, and also another great rabbi, Rabbi Shlomo Kimchi, also probably known as the Baal HaYemei Shlomo. I think they were against the idea of this school opening at that point in time, and I think the Chacham Bashi at that time was for it for various different reasons also. So it was a very robust debate. Unfortunately, I do think the Sultan, if I'm not mistaken, did get involved, and it had to be negotiated in a specific way, and unfortunately there was troubles, let's just say, that did follow because of this different issue within regards to opening the thing. And I believe in the year 1862, various other robust topics, discussions came about in the land of Koushta, especially within regards to the rabbinate in of itself, the structure of the rabbinate, if I'm not mistaken, also. And once again, I think the Ottoman government actually got involved. I think that at that point in time, the Sultan was Abdul Aziz, if I'm not mistaken, also, which is very, very interesting. There were great rabbis at the time in Turkey, including Rabbi Chaim Pelagi, who I think was one of the great rabbis there. And there was the Adrianopol rabbi, which was Rabbi Yakir Giron, who we've spoken about before, and Rabbi Menachem Cohen. There were many great rabbis, I think, from different areas, including Ardot, I think the city of Shiraz, respectively. And there was also another great rabbi, Rabbi Asher Kobo from Saloniki, who I think we spoke about in various different places. He happened to be a great judge in Greece and one of the great rabbis of the city, respectively. So it's interesting. There was all the debates. They did get together and meet up with each other and do these decisions. Many of these great rabbis had different opinions, and it did lead to, let's just say, some very robust debates. And I think at the end, this specific school was allowed to open up under various different conditions, I think, that was put on it. And Rabbi Arkish, I think he was very strong on his opinion and would eventually move and make Aliyah to the land of Israel. He immigrated to the land of Israel in the year 1874. I think he had the assistance of the famous Rabbi Al-Fandari. I think various different logistical help. And then later on, I think when he got to Israel, he actually moved to the city of Hebron. So he passed away on the 28th of Elul and was buried at Har Menuchot, that is naturally known as Mount of Olives. Sorry, he was buried in Har Zaitim, that's known as the Mount of Olives burial plot in Jerusalem, a place that we've spoken about on various different occasions before. So what's interesting, he wrote different Torah colossal works, most famously the Kiryat Arba, which is based on 32 drushim, chidushim and teshuvot, questions and answers, also novelties within regards to the topic of halacha in of its own right. I think it was printed in Jerusalem. There were several printings, I think in the year 1842, if I'm not mistaken, 1872 and 1876. And I think with this great Torah colossal work, he had actually got the haskama of another famous Turkish rabbi, Rabbi Avram Ashkenazi, who I think was the head rabbi of Turkey at that point in time, and he would become also a Rishon Litzion. So he received haskama from this great rabbi, and there was various different instructions, including from Rabbi Machane Ephraim, from the book of Machane Ephraim also, which is very interesting. So he wrote those great books. So obviously, at the later stage, they will become well known more among the younger generations also. I think another great Torah colossal work was the Shut Tanat de Beit Eliyahu, questions and answers with again of the Tanat de Beit Eliyahu of, I think it was from Rabbi Eliyahu Mani, another great rabbi I was talking about before, on various different occasions. I think he would also become a head rabbi, a chief rabbi of Hebron during his time here, and he was of Iraq heritage. So there was this, the Shut, the She'elot and Teshuvot, which was another important thing that we should mention. Then there was Sefer Michtav Lechezkiyahu, which I think was under the help of Rabbi Chezkiah Medini, Chaim Chezkiah Medini to be precise, which was 4 Teshuvot, 4 answers from various different, from Rav Akrich, so very, very phenomenal. So friends, it is his Hilula here on the date, Hebrew date Chavchet Elul, one of the great rabbis of his time, I think included in his generation. Just to go back to it, was Rabbi Elfandari, Rabbi Chaim Pelargi, and Rabbi Moshe Cohen, and Rabbi Chizkiyahu Medini. These are one of the cluster of the greatest Rabbonim of all time. So wishing you all well, recording this just a few days before Rosh Hashanah, so Shana Tova Mitzvah, and wishing you all blessings.